Hey, Marion and Rich Patterson with Winding Pathways and Kelsey Spots from Hoover's Hatchery. We're talking about how to check out your chickens because we have a mixed flock and it's important this time of year to figure out who's laying and who's not laying there. So how do you compare the two, Rich? Because you've got one right here. She's an awfully nice looking little girl. How do you tell?
This is an Australorp that was hatched at Hoover's in April. So
Right.
she's about 5 months old and she just started laying. And one of the characteristics of young pullets, young hens, when they're starting laying is they look good, and she
look at
looks
that.
kind of like she just stepped out of the chicken spa. All of her feathers are nice and glossy and they're all there.
Yep.
Okay, and then as the year goes on, she'll lay an egg almost every day for the next year. Okay, and about this time next year, she's gonna say, "Oh, I need a break."
All right.
Okay, my feathers are all kind of ratty and worn, and I'm kind of tired, and I'm just gonna stop laying for a while. And she'll do that. She'll stop laying, and her feathers will start falling off. It's the molt. The feathers come off. Then she'll she'll grow some new feathers. And in a year after she grows her new feathers, she'll look like she came out of the chicken spa again.
Okay, well you mentioned she does look good, so we can see the feathers there, and you're holding her a certain way, and there's a reason. And how do you know she's laying? Because
Okay.
I can't tell.
For a young chicken like this, the things to watch for, first are the calendar. 4 months would be the earliest.
Okay, all right.
So 4 to 5 months is when they usually start. Their comb and their wattles will grow a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, look a little bit more mature. Okay,
All right, all right.
she'll basically look good. And if you go in mostly at night when they're sleeping, and you can pick her up and hold a chicken carefully, and I do it so that I have her wings pushed against my arm or my chest. I have my fingers here so she really can't kick.
Right.
Okay, so I can put my hand here. She has all of her feathers are still there. She'll lose them. In a year, they won't be there.
Right.
And I can put my hand here. And
Right on the pelvis.
right on the pelvis. And there are 3 bones, 2 here, 1 there. When she is very young, they're close together.
Okay, close together. Okay.
As she's approaching maturity, they will spread apart.
All
And
right, so they
now,
go something like this to more like that. I mean, that's exaggeration, but that's
now
the
that
idea.
lower bone is by my pinky.
All right.
The upper 2 bones are by my index
here.
finger.
Okay.
So she's laying,
All right.
okay? And we've been seeing those small eggs
Right.
in the nest. She's a young pullet, and the eggs will get bigger as time goes on. So I know that she is a good bird. She looks good when she should look good. So it's easier to tell a layer on a young 5 or 6 month old hen. It's a little harder on the
Yeah.
older
Okay,
ones.
well, let's take a look. I think
Let's
they've
let
all
her
kind of
go.
gone. Yes, we'll let her go because she's been a very good sport about all this. There she runs off. So we have that mixed grouping of chickens. We have the 1.5-year-olds and we have the new ones. So we know a little bit more about how to tell when the new ones are laying. But how about the older ones? Because some of them they look pretty sad and worn out, and others look like they're gorgeous. So what does
Yes.
that mean?
Well, a 1.5-year-old chicken
Right?
is ready to take a break, like we said. Okay, so usually in fall is when they'll start to molt. However, if in early fall you have an older chicken that looks beautiful, she
All right.
has all of her feathers, and they're nice and sleek and all, probably she's not laying.
Oh.
And she may not have laid for quite a while. Okay, a chicken that's been working hard, laying an egg every day or almost every day, by a 1.5 year of production, her feathers are looking tired and worn.
So we know that.
And we look around at our chickens here, you can easily see, oh, that one looks really good. I bet she's not laying. And then if we catch her at night, we can use that palm. And if she's not laying those eggs, those bones will be back together.
Okay, all right.
Okay?
And then we've got some other ways to tell too, is we've got different breeds because we like different kinds of chickens, and it's really easy to tell who's laying and who's not. And Rich has got a little secret way to do that. So tell us about the different ones that we have.
What I like to do when we order our chicks from Hoover's, I like to get different breeds. All of them, we like brown eggs, so
Right.
there are many, many breeds that Hoover's have that lay good quantities of brown eggs, but the birds look different. They have
Right.
different feathers, some of them have different physiques, and I like to have several different kinds. And that way, my other way, every day, I'm out here probably every 2 hours or so, and I can just come in
Go on over
and
here.
look
Take a look.
in the nest and, you know, subtly notice, oh, you know, the barred rock was just there.
Yes, I saw the
And-
barred rock come. Oh, and it even is warm. It's really great. You put your hand on it, and we saw the barred rock hop out and run out of the out of the coop. So that's how Rich knows it's from that chicken.
But I can easily tell the barred rock, I can tell the barred rock from the Brahma, I can tell the barred rock from the Orpington, I can tell her, because they look different.
Right.
So, okay, I know the barred rock's looking kind of rough right now. She's been working hard, but she's a good layer. Okay, the Brahma, that one hasn't been laying. I've not seen her in the nest for a long time. She
Oh.
looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And if I have to rehome a few chickens, okay, I put my note up on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. She might be one that goes to somebody else's coop.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's an easy way to tell the different who's laying and who's not, because you have different kind of chickens. And then if you want a lot of production, you can just, as Rich said, put your list up on social media, and somebody will come within a day or two, buy the chickens for maybe not a couple of bucks or so, and then they have a new home, and you can get chickens that are laying eggs.
But there's a hitch to that.
Oh,
Okay.
all right, there's always something.
If we were trying to have absolutely maximum production,
Right.
like we're making our living selling eggs, okay, then we don't want any chickens here that are eating but not laying.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not us. Okay, we have a small flock. We have chickens because we like chickens. Okay, and maybe we have a chicken that's not laying very much, but we like her. You know, she's pretty, or she's really interesting, and we say, okay, we'll keep her.
Yep,
You
and
know,
one
she
example
stays.
is, we have the great chicken, we call her Buffy Fluffy, because she's a great big fluffy, what kind of chicken
Cochin.
is she? Cochin. And she's just this nice chicken, lays an egg sometimes, but she has the greatest personality. And our granddaughter, whenever we do FaceTime with her, does not want to talk to Grandma in Iowa, does not want to talk to Grandpa in Iowa. She wants to see Buffy Fluffy. So we trundle down here and show her Buffy Fluffy, and then we can talk to our granddaughter, which is kind of fun.
So, you know, this is an activity that, yes, should produce some food,
Right.
but also should be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So we don't get too worried if we have a pretty chicken or an interesting one that maybe not laying too much. If we like her, she's got a nice place to live, and she's got some breakfast in the morning. Tip of the month. This is fall tip of the month, and we've really noticed lately how it gets dark early.
Right?
You know, it's getting dark earlier, and September is the time of the greatest change. Here in Iowa, we're losing about 3 minutes a day of daylight when the sun is up. Chickens respond to day length. Okay, so if it gets darker and darker, the daylight hours are shorter and shorter, they will slow down and almost stop. Usually they don't stop laying, but they won't lay nearly as many
Right.
unless you fool them.
Yeah, and this is the time of year when we want to have more eggs, because there's a lot of baking that comes up during the fall and early winter months. So what do?
Well, it's pretty easy.
Let's figure that one out.
It just takes two things to fool them, and one of those things is just one of these simple little clip-on lights that you can buy at a hardware store, okay, and a timer.
Okay, let's take a look at this. There's a little timer here. You have to learn how to set the timer, because it's a little tricky, but not too bad.
So what we do is I set the timer knowing, and in the newspaper every day it tells about how many hours of daylight we have. Right now it's about 13 hours and declining. Okay, so I want them to have at least 2 hours more light. So I set this so that the light comes on about 2 hours before sunrise. Okay, so I look out here when I get up in the morning, it's still dark, but the light's on and the chickens are up, and that will send a signal to the brain of those hens. It's spring. It's spring. We're still
tricking
laying.
them.
Okay, and I'll keep that light going through the winter, and I have to adjust it once in a while because the days are getting shorter, so I have to adjust that so it comes on a little bit earlier. About once a month I do that until late winter, early spring, when I just unplug it.
Okay, yeah, and in the future we can show you a little bit more on how to make those adjustments, and that's a good tip of the month to say, how about get to light if you want production, get a light out there, and you can go to Hoover's Hatchery YouTube videos and their site and talks about how to do all these kinds of things. So I think that's it with Rich and Marion Patterson and Kelsey from Hoover's Hatchery, and we look forward to doing some more videos with you on ways to do backyard chicken and enjoy it a great deal. So thanks.